Yo, what
I
way?
totally agree with you
Oh, okay.
that, you know, Trump is king.
That's
What
literally what
we're
That's
Trump's
literally
saying.
what you
He's
said.
saying, and that's what Trump's saying.
wait,
They
wait,
stole our
no,
oil. They stole our oil. They took our stuff.
when a country seizes our assets and kills American citizens, then
Who
they
did they go into the oil
that's a
places
cute
and
dog.
kill him?
Let me see the puppy. Come on, let me see the puppy.
Did they
No,
kill?
that's a cute puppy.
Oh my God.
So
Who did they
they kill.
kill? I'm lost here. Who did they kill? They said
Right?
you got to pack up your oil, and they killed all the oil execs. Like
We've
who was
killed like
killed down
200 of
there?
their citizens this year, but who is Venezuela and which American citizens did Venezuela
Yeah,
kill?
who are? That's the part I'm missing out.
When FARC took control, they have been kidnapping and killing American citizens left and right.
From
Look up
where?
FARC. Look up FARC and what they do.
Look up who? I'm
Who?
sorry.
FARC, FARC.
Get down, bro. Chill out. Stop.
They are a terrorist organization.
Oh man, miss me with that. That word don't even mean anything anymore in
Because
America.
you got to think. Hold on, real quick, Mark. Okay, so we throw around that term terrorist organization, right? But if you really think about it, I mean, how is that any different than what America does to other countries?
Well,
There is
so
zero
they
evidence of
kidnap and
Venezuela
kill their
in
own
America.
people.
But we do that too. America does that too. We're doing it right now with Venezuela.
We've been killing them
No,
just,
no, no,
just
no.
for
You- you-
funsies. We blow up their boats.
FARC,
Yes.
FARC is kidnapping and killing their own people.
but we're missiling boats. We're missiling boats, dude. Like we're killing their people. We're just how's that any different than what FARC?
America is kidnapping and killing black people every single day.
Like so I don't understand.
America is kidnapping and killing Mexicans every single day. Texas is letting pregnant women die on the table instead of operating on them because of some bullshit religious views. Should other countries invade us? That's not a just reason, bro. We don't get to decide what their country does.
And isn't FARC in Colombia?
Yes.
FARC is in several countries.
FARC is in Colombia. The bottom line here is the argument is holding zero water, Mark. I'm sorry, man. It's just holding zero water.
So
Right,
Mark,
because
you're in
it's
agreement.
Trump. When
Okay.
Biden
Let's
did it, Obama did it,
take.
everybody does it.
Okay, Mark. Let's take all the other 40-something presidents out of it. Okay.
That's
Do
what,
you
that's Trump
agree?
101 right there. As
Yeah, I
soon as you
know.
say
I
Trump
try to
crossed the
tell
street
him it's
illegally, he
automatic.
goes,
But
"Oh, you know
When
who else
Vene-
crossed the street illegally?
When Venezuela
Freaking
nationalized its oil field,
Abraham Lincoln."
0 Americans were killed.
but what I want to ask you, Mark, is so you're okay with us as a country just going over to another country and grabbing their president and bringing him here to what is it? Put him on trial for drug dealing? Are you serious? You cool with that?
In this instant, yes. In this instance,
Now,
yes.
hold on. A country like I'm not talking about you didn't go grab the Colombian president where all the coca comes from. You didn't go get the Mexican president. You went and got the president of Venezuela.
What's crazier is
and then said something about 90% of the drugs are coming from there. Are you kidding me, bro?
we had a guy in prison. We had a guy in prison. We had
boy
secured
Trump.
convictions. We had secured convictions, and we had a guy in prison, and he released him. You remember that guy, right? Juan Orlando Hernandez from Honduras. He was found guilty.
Disagree with that decision. Shoot the motherfucker.
He was found guilty of trafficking 200 kilos of cocaine into the United States every year, and Trump pardoned him because he made a good donation to Trump. The largest internet drug trafficker.
With that.
The
Right,
largest
so Mark,
internet
you
drug
voted for a
trafficker
guy
of all
you agree
time.
with some of the stuff he does only 20% of the time. That doesn't make any much sense. Like, and that's what like any Trumper. That's what I pretty much ask him. Like, you don't agree with a lot of the stuff he does, but that little 1-2, he said he's going to take care of immigration. That makes up for him being a racist or misogynist or whatever. That makes up for all that because he's gonna take care of immigration. You care that much, like that your leader, because he represents you, Mark. So when he gets up on that stage and he acts an asshole or a cornball or whatever he does, that represents you, and you're cool with that because he's going to take care of immigration.
And then
or he's going to lower your gas.
20% of what I want. But Kamala Harris, one, wasn't even duly put on. But we'll skip that.
Yeah, but
She
does Kamala
represented
Harris,
half
she was
of
vice president,
1% of what
she
I want.
embarrass you every day? Did having Kamala as your vice
Yes,
president
she
look
did.
bad on you every day?
She did disrespect this country and embarrass me.
All right,
So
check it
did
out.
Biden.
More than Trump? More
Hey,
than
Mark.
Trump, huh?
Check it out, Mark. So your
Absolutely
argument,
more than Trump.
your
The
single
least of the
argument,
two
We gotta
or your
get off
single,
Mark,
like
man.
I said.
This ain't fair.
your single line item was immigration, and the whole
Correct.
idea of immigration is money, right?
That
Immigration,
was part of why.
right? But immigration, the reason we care is money, and so we're gonna sacrifice $630 billion of spending pay and upwards of $9 billion in taxes paid by illegal immigrants, and then pay $19 billion.
No,
Hold on, and then pay $19 billion
That's a
just
lie.
in 2025 to detain the same immigrants.
That's a lie.
They were which part
That's
was a lie?
Okay, so yes, immigrants who are here on green cards, etc., contribute billions to our economy.
So do
And I
illegal
have
immigrants,
zero issue with stop.
right?
I have zero issues with that. Okay. The problem is illegal immigrants who are falsifying IDs, yada yada, etc. The only thing that they contribute is they earn money under the table, they spend money at stores, which contributes to the economy. I'm not going to disagree with that.
$630 billion last year.
That's a bullshit lie.
It's not. There's numbers out
Why
there.
is everything a lie
You can't just
until you say
declare
it?
it's a bullshit lie. They do studies, bro. They track this shit. They track all of the spending. They track who's spending it, which communities are spending it. And undocumented immigrants don't have to falsify paperwork. Undocumented immigrants can receive ITN numbers and go work and pay federal taxes.
No, they cannot.
Yeah, they can. They can.
They cannot work.
An undocumented immigrant is not a person who is here 100% illegal. An undocumented immigrant is just a person who has not finished all of their paperwork yet. They could have come here legally.
This is your problem. You want to group them all together.
No, I'm talking about you have two different kinds.
What did I say?
You have undocumented immigrants.
I said illegal.
That's undocumented immigrants.
No.
Yes.
Illegal. If you are in this country illegally.
And what's your definition of illegally? Overstaying a visa?
They are in the process.
And if you overstay a visa?
There is distinct, separate groups. Illegal means you cross the border on foot, etc.
I hate to tell you.
That's not the case. But
Mark, I hate to tell you, but they got you, dog. The boogie, they made you think that illegals are really screwing up your country, and they're not even the ones that's messing it up.
They're not. And we're spending $19 billion just in 2025. $19 billion to house and feed undocumented immigrants just so they can stay in a private prison complex and
we gotta let Mark out of the boxing
money.
corner because it's unfair what we're doing to Mark. So let's let Mark breathe.
My state has spent $3 billion on these people.
So let's spend 19 more instead of letting them work. Because you know what's free? Do you know what would cost almost nothing? Giving them papers and letting them go work.
Oh, wait. Is that where we spend?
You mean like when Reagan did it? When Reagan did it with amnesty, and when George W. Bush did it with his amnesty?
Housing costs, bro.
Did you know?
I don't care if they work. But they get zero for free. That's the problem. That's the difference.
Okay, so
they
I think
cannot have anything.
Washington D.C.'s chief export is fear, and you bought it.
Okay, so and I feel
it's not fear, it's fact.
But here, check it out though. Okay, so Mark, just hear me out for 1 second, okay, brother. Okay, so I think that what has happened here is that they had to give you a boogeyman, and the boogeyman was immigrants, right? And I don't believe that,
The
the
boogeyman
reason
is
why.
my tax bill, bro.
No, but hear me out real quick. Just hear me out. Give me like 30 seconds. So, while they're the real people, the real criminals, the ones that are actually taking money from the government and using our tax dollars in ways to make themselves rich, in order for them to get you to look the other way, they make you look at they had to give you somebody, they had to give you a blame guy, a fall guy, and that was immigrations. That was the immigrants. But the whole time we're subsidizing billionaires, millionaires, companies, corporations, and everything like that. And they're the ones that are getting, like, corporate welfare is probably got to be at least 50% more than any type of social welfare that we have going on. So they make you believe that, hey, look, immigrants are taking away your houses, they're taking away your food, they're taking away your taxes, when in all reality, it's the people that are in power, the rich, the corporations, the people like that. And that's how they fool us, Mark. And that's my whole point. Like, that's why I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. That's why I don't adhere to one party, because I feel like they all fall under the same flag. We live in a capitalist society where profit is king, and that the only people that the only two sides that really matter are the working class and the rich. Those are the two sides. But if they continue to keep us divided like they're doing now, where we're arguing about immigration, they can continue to rob us blind, brother. And that's what they're doing. They're robbing us blind because we're so distracted. We're fighting each other over shit that they don't even give a fuck about. They don't care about any of that, really. They don't care about abortion rights. They don't care about transgenders in the bathroom. They don't care about immigrants. All they care about is getting rich.
Yeah, emotions.
And they are making more money under Trump than they have under any president in the history of this country, bro.
And that's all I'm saying, Mark. And I love you, brother. And I don't want you to feel like attacked or anything. I really don't.
Hell no, bro.
Okay.
I love debate, bro. But listen, part of the reason why the immigration, everybody says it's about Islamophobia or whatever. When my state released the dollar amount, right? They were spending $65 a day for food for the immigrants that they put in hotels. That
now we
cost
spend $165 for them to be in prison.
Gotta let him finish this point, bro.
Right? And $200 a day for the hotel room. Right? When I can't spend that, right? My food budget is barely $20 a day. When the government is spending more on the immigrants, that is going to inflame the population.
Okay, and that's a good point, right?
But let me ask you. Your president just said the economy's everything's affordable.
But what I'm saying though is,
your president said we're straight.
But who should you be mad
at? What are you talking about?
But who should you be mad at? Should you be mad at the immigrants, or you should be mad at the people in power that have put the structures in place?
It's absolutely the people in power.
Right.
I blame Biden because he started this in 2022, early 2023. But Biden started. Trump isn't going to get a pass if he don't fix it. Now, can he fix it in 9 months? No.
Fix what?
What pass? We can't run again. What pass?
I'm just lost because Biden deported more people than Trump.
But we're almost there. Look.
What's he fixing?
Mark. Hold on. Follow the money. Who's getting rich off the immigrants here in the country right now?
Everybody but you and me, bro.
No.
Everybody but you and me.
And who's telling you to blame the immigrants? The people getting rich. The people getting rich are telling you to blame the immigrants, and you're falling for it, even though you know it's not them.
It is them. My state has spent $3 billion that we
Did the immigrants spend that money? Did the immigrants go up there and tell them? Did the immigrants go up to them and say, "Hey, give us this money"?
No, it's the politicians.
Exactly. So it's not the immigrants.
The politicians.
So it's not the immigrants.
We shut their money off. What do we do?
They go to work, bro. Immigrants will work. Immigrants don't give a shit. They'll go stand on the corner and sell some oranges. They'll go paint some fences. They'll go build a fucking house. Immigrants don't need that fucking welfare. We give it to them so that they don't become a drain later. We give them a step in, and we allow them to solidify a standing so that they can actually go out, just like we did for 200 years until the 1960s when we rescinded the Homestead Act. Every single immigrant that we welcomed from every other country, we handed them acreage and money every single time. And the reason was not because we wanted them to come here and do like change our culture and all of this. We wanted them to come here to grow our economy. The only way to grow an economy is to grow the population. And we can't do that on our own because our birth rates are dropping. And that's one thing Republicans love to harp on. And they blame feminism for it. And they blame everybody else. But at the end of the day, if our birth rate is dropping, and our economy is a consumer class, we need more consumers. We cannot operate without more people. And so every year, more immigrants come over, and instead of just releasing them into the streets and being like, good luck, they get a small handout until they are on their feet. And 99% of immigrants that come to this country end up being better off than natural born citizens. And Elon Musk is a prime fucking example. The richest man in the world is an illegal immigrant who came into our country, used his money and his influence to buy an election, and then dismantle multiple government agencies that were investigating him. And then turned around and used all of that to jump out of the limelight and be like, oh, I'm gone, guys. I'm going to leave Trump in power, even though I'm the one who paid for him to be there. And then he's going to continue to blame immigrants when in reality, Elon Musk has received more welfare than any other person. Honestly, you could probably combine all of the people in the history of this country, and they won't equal the amount of money that was given to that man to build his companies.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. You call it welfare, right? Define welfare.
Welfare is bettering the society around you by using government taxes to actually help the people or the companies that need help. Right now, we are in a wonderfully socialist empire for our corporations. So we have no problem making sure they're taken care of. They're bailed out when they need to be. You know, Walmart's over here pulling in 50% of the food stamps of our entire country while also reporting record billion profits. And at the end of the day, we all know that the people in charge are the ones fucking us up, not the immigrants coming in and working the jobs that we didn't even want to work anyways, working jobs that most people will ignore. And then take any pay they can, and they go and they actually make a better life from it.
So corporate welfare is them getting a tax break, correct?
Or them being granted billions of dollars in funds and in fucking actual money to build his company. Because he didn't just get tax breaks. He was handed billions in government funding to build up Tesla. He was handed billions in funding to build up SpaceX, to build up his fucking... And then he's being granted government contracts from the same damn government agencies that he is in charge of. And yet he's still pointing the finger at...
Biden didn't give SpaceX or Tesla.
Biden did.
They all did, Mark.
Biden did. Yes,
that's the whole point, Mark. We're saying that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
Has anybody here defended Biden? Are any of us Biden fans? I don't think any of us even voted for Biden, bro.
What you're saying is the same thing I'm saying. Is government is government. What we need to do is vote all those MFs out and put government in back to what it's supposed to be, for the people, by the people.
Let's stay right there, Mark.
Term limits have to happen.
Mark, let's stay right there. Like you say, we should vote all the MFs out, right? Dude, most of them got put in by Trump. And they don't, the whole messed up part about this country, and I'm trying to tell you, that's what I was trying to tell you at the beginning. We don't have our own mind anymore. any politician who's a Republican has to do what he says, or they can't be a politician in this day and age. That's the bottom line. So they do whatever he says to keep their job. You
can't disagree because he's primarying.
You can disagree with me. You can disagree with me, but it's your people like you, because you won't vote. If Trump says don't vote for this guy, you won't vote for him, and that's a huge amount of power.
Tells the Democrats not to do something, they ain't gonna do it.
No, Mark, please don't compare the two. Please don't compare the Democratic Party to one person. No, it's not a party. Though it's not a party, it's one person. He said everybody do push-ups. You're all doing push-ups because you won't vote for him, Mark. It's your fault. You won't vote for that. Whatever Republicans go up against Trump, you won't vote for him, and they'll lose their job because of you. So it's your fault.
Hey, real quick,
it's your fault.
I vote against
Adam's got to jump off.
I'm headed out, guys.
I just wanted to say thank you for hopping on, brother.
Okay. Thank you for having me, guys. It's nice meeting you guys. Y'all have a great one.
All right, you take care, brother.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Again, man.
That's all I wanted to say. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut y'all off.
But yeah, these politicians, like the politicians that we have now, are garbage because all of them won't do anything that Trump doesn't tell them to do because people like you won't vote for him.
Schumer isn't Trump.
What does Schumer got to do?
So look at the vote on ACA, right? It was 100% Republicans voting one way, 100% of Democrats voting the other way, right? So you tell me that the Democrats aren't being controlled, just like what you're saying.
By who?
Schumer and the DNC.
I could go one further,
you
man.
Think that Chuck Schumer decides what goes on for all the Democrats?
I think we should look at
Chuck Schumer could talk about a Democrat and say he didn't like him, and all of a sudden the whole country of Democrats would not vote for that person. You think Chuck Schumer has that power?
I think y'all should look at AIPAC money. Nobody can win an election without that AIPAC money. Barely anybody can. And that goes Republican or Democrat.
I'm not talking about voting in the election and getting elected. I'm talking about the people who are in power. They will not do anything to jeopardize their job because of Trump. And if you don't believe that, that's crazy.
I think Chalo's right because, Mark, think about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She stepped down because they're going to primary her. She was like, all right.
She's not going to win because Trump don't like her.
I see what you're saying.
Thomas Massey, he goes against Trump. They're going to primary him. So that's what happens if you don't if he doesn't like you,
and it's because of you, Mark. You're going to primary those people. No. It's because you won't like him, Mark. If they go against Trump, you won't like him, and you won't vote for him. That's the problem with this country. That's why we can't get anything done. I promise you.
A majority of Republicans that feel that way.
That feel what way?
I totally agree with you.
Oh, okay.
That, Trump is king, right? I agree with that.
But you guys make him king.
Majority of Republicans agree with that. But what I'm saying is it's on both sides.
Did
the problem
did Biden primary anyone? I'm asking out of curiosity. Did Biden or Obama primary a sitting Congress member? I'm gonna look it up because I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Well, I will say, think about Al Franken. Remember, Democrats eat their own. They do it all the time.
They do, yeah,
they do eat their own. They will do
that.
Man.
I was just wondering, what was the last sitting president that was like, you're a traitor, like he did Marjorie Taylor Greene, called her a traitor, and then we're going to primary you.
Her career's over. Is her career over, Mark? Is her career over? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene's career over?
Absolutely not.
She's gonna be on a podcast. She gonna be podcasting with us, Charlo.
Right. Right.
No, I think that the fear is there, and I don't disagree with that. He's very powerful, and I
But
think
you
the
make
fear
him
is
powerful. He's not
no,
powerful at all. You're
no,
powerful, and
no,
you give
no,
it to
no,
him.
no, no.
You give your power
No.
to him. Yes, you
I,
do.
I
Yes, you
think, I
do.
think, I think, and I gotta agree, Mark. Who gives Trump power?
You are
How
the
does
power, Mark. You got the vote. You're the power.
who gives Trump his power? That's the question.
Okay. So let me ask you a question.
Okay,
How many times do I get to vote for Trump?
twice,
Well, twice.
3 times.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
All right.
So I'm not saying. Oh, go ahead.
So I vote for him once, 2024. He's got 4 years. Does that mean I'm giving him power
No, I think
24 hours a day?
Yes, that's
7
exactly
days
what
a
it
week?
means.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
gave him 4 years worth
You
of
didn't
power.
understand a word I
That's your
just said,
vote.
Mark. You didn't
I
understand
think,
a word I just said.
but you think that I vote one time,
The
I
answer is
agree 1,000%. Whatever he does, whatever, I'm 100% for it. I don't get to disagree with him. I don't get to.
yeah, but that
No,
doesn't
you don't do
matter
that in your
because your
house.
vote put him in power. You put him in the most powerful seat in the nation. Your vote did that, and you
Okay,
knew,
in
you knew,
2026,
you
I get
knew
to
that
And then
vote
that
you don't
vote was
again.
a
disagree with him
4-year
In
commitment.
outside. You only do that in your
2026, I get
house.
to vote again, right? In 2026, I get to vote again, right?
You
Not for
can't vote
him.
for
And I'm
Biden.
gonna
You
make
can't
it.
vote for Trump in 2026.
I'm sure if you could, you
What
would.
happens in 2026, bro?
The midterms.
And what happens with the midterms if Senate and reps go the other way? What's going to happen to his power?
Yeah, historically it does
It's
flip.
going to go away, right?
It ain't gonna go away.
Yeah, it is.
He's
I will say.
different, bro. Stop acting like
He
he's
will
normal.
lose.
Like you guys,
He will
we
lose
can't
some
go by.
steam, but don't act like you didn't put him in this
Yeah.
position with your vote. Like that's what America chose. Like it's fine. Yeah, you
And,
guys
and by
did that.
and by you, I think like you got to think like the people. Like the people give Trump power.
Yeah,
And
but
you're just,
I'm not saying you in particular, Mark. I'm
right.
saying
Yeah, you're a
the people.
microcosm for the rest of
Yeah,
it. We're not
the
sitting here
people.
2
saying
million people voted for him, or whatever the actual amount was.
Yeah.
But a majority of people voted for him because at the time, the economic situation and everything was what it is. He gave them more hope than the Democrats.
I could agree with that.
You know,
I
right?
think
Because Kamala Harris didn't have to go to any primaries; she was just installed as the candidate.
Well, I think that's where the Democrats messed up. I think that they should have had a primary. But I also think that you got to remember too, Kamala Harris only had 90 days to campaign, where Trump was campaigning for 4 years. So
that's their fault, though.
that was the Democrat. Exactly.
That's their fault.
That the Democrats messed
And
up.
right
with that.
now, while they're sitting back, they better be having someone ready for the next.
they don't.
And Republicans the same. They need to have somebody ready to go.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, I did look it up.
Uh-huh.
Obama and Biden did not primary anyone during their tenure.
Oh, they didn't. Okay.
I didn't know that answer. I honestly didn't know.
Right.
That's
No,
why
I didn't know
wanted
either.
to look. I was like, I don't know. I know it happens. I just wondered.
I just think the bottom line here is that if we keep fighting amongst ourselves over things that I'm not saying they're not big deals. I'm not saying that they don't matter. But if we keep fighting amongst ourselves over like scraps, we're never going to have a seat at the table. We're never going to make any change in this country because we're too divided. You know what I mean? And it's going to take us to put down some of the things that what it's going to do. It's going to take us to have our differences unite us rather than divide us. You know what I mean? And people need to realize that. I keep saying it over and over again. There's only 2 classes. There's only 2 parties. It's the working class and it's the rich. And
there's the low income people that, it's like 3 classes of people, right?
Do you think the low income people count?
Everybody counts.
They're working class, brother. They're part of the working class, man.
No, I'm just saying in the whole,
it's the
microcosm. Do you really think they count?
It's the elites.
I actually do. I think the problem is that our politicians focus on two things: the working class and the upper class, and say they're going to help the other people, but neither party helps the other people.
The problem is that we have the rich are in power, and they're the ones that are making the laws, and they're not going to cede any of that power for the working class. They need the working class in order to stay rich. They need the poor in order to be rich. So there's no motivation for them to help bring people up that are in poverty or anything like that. There's no motivation at all. They're making the laws. They don't care about us. They don't.
Absolutely. And I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat. I 100% agree with you. There is no motivation for them to help.
Right. So
that's no motivation for them to do anything for us.
But that's my point. That's why I'm saying that you're kind of like diehard Trump, but you can't be if you really want change. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't be diehard anybody. You can't be diehard Democrat. You can't be diehard Republican if you really want change. It can't happen. You can't do that. It's not gonna. It'll never happen like that, Mark. You know what I mean? And I think that's what my whole point is, to bring the circle back.
Like you and I disagree on certain things like immigration or whatever, but I don't think that means that you're diehard one way or another. For example,
right. But imagine if we focus the energy.
I disagree on some of his policies on LGBT stuff, right? I disagree with him on it because I am not a singular human thing that, oh, I'm a Republican, so whatever the party says, that's what I'm doing, right? My son gay.
I got one question.
That's what I'm. Okay, hold on one second, Sean. I want to catch him right here. That's what I'm saying, Mark. When you say that, you're not one whole singular person. But then if he says, all trannies should burn in hell, and then you go stand behind him, what am I supposed to think about?
Okay, where did I stand behind him on that? Wait.
I was just using that. I was just using it as an example.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I'm saying. That's the way the thought is. Because I voted for him in 2024, I agree with his stance on everything 100% across the board. And that's not the case.
No, listen, you're not understanding what I'm not saying that, Mark. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when a person has like overt tendencies like that, that's who he is. So you can agree with him on immigration all you want, but when you stand behind him, you're agreeing with him on all the racist stuff he says too.
What you're saying is immigration is more important than you thinking I'm racist. Immigration is more important than you thinking that I support pedophilia. You're putting things that are morally far more important than a line in the sand above. And so when we see that and we go, man, this guy's character is terrible. And you go, but I like this policy. And we go, but you're supporting this man who is doing all of these bad things. And he's supposed to be our representative as a nation. But for you, giving him your vote, he's supposed to be a representative of you. And what we're confused on is immigration more important than racism? Is immigration more important than insert thing? There's going to be some things that would fall below racism or below.
And what you fail to get is I almost went to jail.
Now, how am I supposed to?
Listen, I almost went to jail because I beat the hell out of my ex-brother-in-law because he touched my niece. It doesn't mean because I support Trump, I support pedophilia. That's the problem. That's where the Democratic Party is
Mark,
failing.
this is what I'm trying to say.
They think because Trump, you voted for Trump, anything they accuse Trump of, you support.
Because Mark, listen, when I see you standing behind him, like I said, I see you standing behind him. You don't get to tell me what issues you're standing behind him on. I just see you supporting. I don't get to break down all the issues you like. Okay, I agree with him here. I don't agree with him here. I agree with him here. All I see is you behind him. You got his back. That's all I see.
No,
I don't get.
I voted for the least of the two evils in 2024. That's
I understand that, Mark, and I'm not Mark.
But if
Mark,
it was just
I'm telling you your optics. I'm telling you your
Right,
optics
Mark.
and why people come at you like that. I'm just trying to tell you.
If it was just that, you wouldn't have spent the last hour and 24 minutes defending everything about this dude and comparing him to every president before him. You would have just been like, yo, you guys can say what you want and keep cooking. My whole thing was I wanted the immigration thing set up. But you argue and you fight for everything about this man. We go, yo, man, Trump.
I'm just grabbing a drink.
We go, yo, man, Trump is trash. And you go, yeah, but Obama wore a tan suit. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we don't. And that's the problem. You say, I don't support the guy, but yet you sit here and you defend every little criticism of Trump. You're right there with your Trump cape on, like, yo, not Trump, because Biden did this, and Jimmy Carter did that, and Abraham Lincoln did this.
This is the problem. This is what you guys don't understand.
No, we do understand it. That's
okay.
the problem.
All right. So you're complaining about me saying whatism, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying you guys do it all the time. It's reflex. I told you.
If your point is you voted for the lesser of two evils, why have you spent the last hour and a half defending everything about this guy? That's my point.
Where was my life? Where was my life? When I talked about Obama and Biden, etc., where was my life?
I think.
Where was your lie? No, he's just saying, why do they come up? They're not our presidents, bro. Why are they even in a conversation?
No one here was defending those things because we didn't support the things.
And they're not in conversation.
But you're complaining about Trump doing it. But when we say, look, you didn't cry and complain when Biden did.
Mark, do you have kids? Do you have kids, Mark? Do you have kids, Mark? Yeah. Is that how you treat them? Like when your son does something wrong, and you come in and you try to discipline, like that. But Dad, Jimmy and Johnny were doing it too. Oh, that makes it okay, Mark?
Gets punished for what they do.
Exactly. So wait. But you teach him to bring Jimmy and Johnny in it
when the other people did it. That's the problem.
But Mark, I'm asking you an honest question. When your son comes in there and he does something wrong, and he says. He brings to you the fact that Jimmy and Johnny did it too. Do you give a fuck? Do you care that Jimmy and Johnny did it too?
No.
Exactly. So why do you do that? Why do you guys do that?
I won't allow people to be hypocritical. You're being hypocritical.
How, Mark?
You refuse to say, I hated when Biden did it. I hated when Obama did it. I hate it when.
We're not. I did
say that though.
We had a Biden show, and we talked about it, and he was the subject of our conversation. I would tell you how much I don't like Biden because I don't. But he's not the subject. He's not the president. We're talking about current events. The current president. I don't need to go back to Barack. I don't need to go to Hillary. Hillary was never president, and you got to bring her too. Why?
When there is a precedent.
Mark, the president, no one's going to compare you. No one's going to compare you to anybody else if you do something wrong. We're going to just talk about you, Mark. We don't care who else did it too.
When there's a precedent
we don't care.
for a president doing something, you can't complain one and not the other.
What was the complaint for Obama? He wore a tan suit. What was the complaint for Trump?
He killed American citizens in a foreign country to take over the dictatorship.
And I was the one that said that when Obama, the drone strikes, I didn't agree with that. I was the one that said I didn't like the Libya. I didn't agree with that when they took out Gaddafi the way they did. I was against all that. That's
terrible.
And that's what I'm saying.
But you know what we didn't have? You know what we didn't have, Mark? We never had to defend Obama from grabbing girls in the crotch. We didn't have to defend Obama from going into a teenage beauty pageant dressing room.
And he don't agree with that. He only agrees with 20% of the shit the dude does. To be honest with you, I'm just being honest.
We didn't have all of that extra moral, everyday American, just be a civil person thing to think about and apologize for. That only became a thing.
So let me ask you a question. All right. Trump went into a beauty pageant room where there was girls, right? Mm-hmm. We can agree on that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So as the medic in charge for my daughter's cheerleading team, I went into their dressing room. So now I'm a pedophile because I went in their dressing room?
No. If you're a doctor or a medic or something like that, that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's not apples to apples, Mark. But
that's different.
It is. He's the program director. He goes in and he checks on things, whatever. No. It happens every day.
You let Trump go check your daughter out? You let Trump go watch your daughter be naked because he owns the pageant or whatever? You comfortable him walking around looking at your daughter?
Like, here's another one, Mark. Here, let's just forget that one. Let's move on to the next one because there's a much. It's not like it's just one or two things Trump did. How about he was married and had sex with a porn star and used money from his campaign to pay her off? We didn't have that for Obama. We didn't have that. I don't even like Biden. We didn't have that for Biden. We didn't have it. The best you can do when you get mad at Democrats, which I'm neither, is go all the way back to Clinton. And
I thought he was going to do John F. Kennedy or something. I was going to say, you can do John F. Kennedy.
Our point is we don't have all of these just insane, ridiculous things that this guy carries every day. Every day it's a new thing with him that don't even have anything to do with the country. It's just him on some wild and out stuff. We never had that. The worst that Obama did was wore a tan suit and people literally lost. Could you imagine that was actually the news cycle? He wore a tan suit and your guy is out here banging porn stars?
I bang porn
What are we doing? What I'm saying, Mark, what is your argument? You have none. There is no argument to what I just said. That's our point. We didn't like policy. Cool. We're talking morally. How do you still stand behind the guy? And you're like, oh, well, so-and-so did such and such. What?
What did they do? What you're saying is you are morally superior and you get to judge people on their morals, which, if you're a Christian or Islamic or whatever, is banned.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there. Right there. See, this is where you messed up because you didn't know I'm up on religion. When the Bible and Christianity...
Judge not lest you be judged.
Hold on.
That's what the Bible says, correct?
Check this out. Do you know what discernment is? Discernment would tell you, hey, if somebody's doing something wrong, don't do it. Don't be like them. The judgment that you're trying to kind of conflate with the two is me saying this guy is damned to hell because he did this thing. That's not the kind of judgment I'm talking about. I'm using simple discernment. You are not a grown man and you do not walk into a room with underage women naked and think that's okay. And if I say, oh my gosh, you're out of pocket, I hear Mark coming over, hey, Jesus said. No, Jesus said to call that out. What he told me not to do.
You're saying is you were there and you know exactly what happened. So you know exactly what happened. You were there, standing there, watching what happened. And you can judge it based on somebody else's third-party hearsay. You're going to decide whether it was right or wrong. I wasn't there. I can't tell what happened.
We're going to wrap it up.
This ain't even like an opinion. It's actually a fact that what happened. Trump himself even talked about it himself. So I don't even know why you're over here playing this hypothetical. Bottom line is your Christian argument failed. And your support of Trump, you can have your support of Trump. Like, you support him. I'm just saying it's odd for us to hear you say, I don't support him wholeheartedly because I only support these policies. And then we go, but what about all this other stuff? And you're like, but what about everybody else's other stuff? And you spend an hour and a half defending everything we've said. It's just weird. You shouldn't have to do that. If you don't care about him that much, you wouldn't defend him that hard. Like if you brought up, I don't know, Jimmy Carter, and I was like, okay, great, and we moved on, that's fine. But if I spent an hour talking about it, you'd be like,
cigar in the White House. Come on, man. Like, politicians do what they do, but you're not there. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you that the whole cigar thing happened. So I use my best discernment and pick a good person the best I can.
See, that's
We're not
the problem. See, you keep calling him a good person.
I Trump and good person in the same sense. That's what, that's where we're going wrong.
40 years, bro. I've been voting for 40 years. I picked the least evil person out of the two.
That right there is true for a lot of people. I think that's a sad reality in America.
I don't know if you picked the less evil this time. I think you picked the most. You think Kamala Harris is more evil? No, look, I'm asking you a question, Mark. You think Kamala Harris is more evil, because that's the word you used. We didn't talk about politics. You said more evil than Donald Trump. You picked the lesser of two evils. So you're saying that Donald Trump is less evil than Kamala Harris?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
And this is why. And this is why. I'll explain it to you real quick.
Okay.
And this is why. I believe that Biden was not really in control. She was the shadow president. And he was put in power because he had spent so many years in government that he could get the vote. And they didn't think she could get the vote. So she was put in as vice president, but actually ran this country.
You really think that? You really think Kamala Harris was running the country?
Yeah.
I think that, it is sad that people have to vote for the lesser of two evils, because it's a lose-lose situation when that happens. Mm-hmm. It's lose-lose. You know what I mean? You got to compromise your morals when you do things like that. And that's why, because I get it, Mark. I do get that lesser of two evils. My mom says it all the time. Being a black woman, she's like, she doesn't like the Democrats like that, but she's like, you got to vote for the lesser of two evils. That's sad. That's sad. We shouldn't have to do that. And that's the thing. I think that things won't change until we stop voting for the lesser of two evils. We got to stop. You know what I mean? You got to think, Mark, would you agree with this? Everybody wants the same things. All of us want the same things. We want food. We want healthy food to eat. We want clean air to breathe. We want clean water to drink. We want affordable health care. We want our kids to be able to go to school. We want to be able to get a house. The only thing that we disagree on is how to get there. That's it. But we all want the same things. Everybody does. The immigrants, black people, white people, Hispanics, we all want the same things. Religious, the Muslims, Christians, we all want the same things, man. But they divide us. They put us all into these little partitions. You know what I mean? And as long as they can keep the divide going, we're not going to see any real progress. And the last thing that I want to say, and I'm done, is that it's okay to be wrong. Like, you know what I mean? We don't evolve as a people if we're always right. If I'm always right, I'll never evolve. I won't grow. You know what I mean? It's cool to be wrong. So Trump, he lied. He came out and he said he was going to do this, this, and this. That a lot of that has changed. You don't have to keep agreeing with him. You know what I mean? Like he said he was going after the thing. Wait. He said real quick. He said he was going to go after the criminals. I was like, oh, that sounds great, but he's not anymore. You know what I mean? So it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong about a person. It's okay to say, hey, I was mistaken. I didn't know it was going to end up like this. And I think more people got to be able to do that, man, because I've been wrong plenty of times. And I've learned that it's better to admit it than to fight a losing battle. You know what I mean? That's all, brother.
Yeah. And I think the problem
is last words.
That's why is like I voted for him because he said he was going to do stuff. He started to do it the right way. He's doing it wrong. I don't agree with everything now, but it is what it is. But to say just because you voted for him, now you're just like him, I don't like that, and that's one of the problems.
No. I wasn't saying that, Mark. What I was saying was when you, from an optics standpoint, I don't get to talk to you. I just hear you. Okay. You say you're with him. You go stand behind him, and then he spews out hate. What am I supposed? Because you don't get to tell me which particular things that you're standing behind him for, that you're backing him for. You don't get that explanation. All you get to do is stand behind him and have his back. So whatever he's spewing, that if you're standing behind him, supporting him up, you're part of that. You, whether you want to be or not, you're part of it. That's what I was trying to relate to you, the optics of it. Because you don't get to tell me, well, man, that was bogus what he said there. And all I'm doing is I'm looking, I see him, and you're behind him holding him up. That's all I see. I don't see which things you agree with them on and which ones you don't. All I see is you holding them up. So what am I supposed to think? And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's how everyone looks at you. And then we're talking, I'm going to just finish it up with this. So like when you talk to me, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. So when I see you constantly defend and deflect, I notice it because you try to deflect to something I give a fuck about. I don't care about Biden. I don't care about Hillary. But then that's where y'all deflect. That's and it doesn't affect me. And so your argument never pierces me because I don't care about those deflections, you guys. I just asked you. That's why I used the example of your son. I'm positive you don't sit there with your son and let him do that. I would smack my son all around the room if he came in talking about Johnny and Jimmy did it too. So that makes it cool. Like, that's crazy.
My kids learned at a young age not to do that.
Right, but you got to do that every I have rarely heard exactly. So while we're talking about Trump, you'll bring a guy who was president, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, you bring him up. Why?
Because this is a pattern of our politicians.
It's not, no.
But don't make it okay.
What's the difference? What does that mean?
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is Trump isn't the first one. He ain't gonna be the last one.
Oh, he's the first of his breed. He's the first. We've never had Trump before.
Hell no.
No, dude, we've never had Trump before.
Well,
you guys normalize him too much. He's way abnormal. Huh?
JFK was almost as bad.
Wow. Okay.
That's insane to even hear.
He's talking about Mark. You must be talking about womanizing. Is that what you're talking about? Well, anyway, it don't matter. Okay.
Like all our politicians follow the same pattern for decades. Like for 80 years, they've all followed the same pattern.
So, what would your last thoughts be, Mark? Last thoughts. Leave us with your last gem, brother.
Yeah.
I think in order for our country to change, we all have to come to the realization that whoever you voted for because that was your decision at the time. But that doesn't define you as a person. It's a vote. I voted for good people. I voted for bad people. Some have worked out, some haven't. But just because you vote for somebody, don't judge people because who they vote for.
I don't think that's happened since Trump was elected. I've never seen anything like that. Like, your personality is dictated on whether or not you voted for Trump. That didn't start till him, dude. I'm 52 years old, bro. I never walked around and looking at people like, oh, that's a Jimmy Carter voter there. Oh, that's a Ronald Reagan voter.
That's how it is.
Oh, but now, if you're a Trump voter, you're considered a certain type of person. I told you, you don't get to explain it. They're not going to let you explain, Mark, that you don't agree with Trump on this and you don't agree with that. When you become a Trump supporter, that you're all in, bro. You don't get to pick and choose. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
No, what he says is wrong. What he says is wrong a lot of times. And that's the problem. He does a lot of wrong shit and you got to defend him. That's wrong.
Yeah, he's turned you guys all into defenders.
Go ahead and what you got for us, Jesus?
I will say, going back to the whole thing, the question of like, how do we solve this? I think it's all theater. And until we basically cut the strings that are holding Democrats and Republicans hostage, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep talking about Epstein files. We're never going to get the real answers. And when they come out, you're going to have people that are going to be like, that's not true, yada, yada, yada. Charlie Kirk stuff, same thing. We're never going to get the answer, no matter how much evidence stacks up. Nobody's going to come out and actually take claim for what they did. This is all theater. And this little fake, I don't even know what's going on in Venezuela. It's absolutely ridiculous and out the blue. It's just the most wildest thing. And all we're going to do is keep talking about all these events, and not a thing is going to change. And democracy is too slow to think that it's gonna. Because, like I said, whoever's paying all of these politicians, that's who wins the election, not the Democrat, not the Republican. It's the people who keep paying them. That class wins every time. And they probably watch stuff like this and go, okay, it's working, because they're talking about insignificant shit.
Mm-hmm.
When the reality is, it's like Rashawn said, there's an elite class and then there's the rest of us. And we can sit here and argue about, is this part of the rest and this part of the rest really the rest? Because these guys do this and it don't matter. Them dudes right there are oppressing everyone else. So we can talk about it. When is something going to happen? Never. We're just going to vote.
Take us out, Rashawn.
I'll leave with this. One of my favorite civil rights icons is Malcolm X, right? And so when Malcolm X was calling white people devils and saying white people were bad and kill whitey and things like that, the government didn't care. They were cool with it. They didn't kill him until after he came back from Mecca, and he realized that he was wrong for saying those things. He started to try to bridge the gap and start to work with white people and bring people together. He realized at that time that, hey, look, we need to unify. They killed him because of that. They didn't care when his message was divisive. They didn't care when he was saying, like, hey, these people are bad, these people are good. He perpetuated the divide. But when he started to unify the people, they couldn't have that, and they killed him. So I think that's an important lesson that we should take from that, is that our power comes with our unity. And until the people realize that we're the ones that hold all the power, nothing's going to change. And it's going to take us to be together. So, I mean, that's all I'd have to say if I was going to leave out, you know what I mean? Solidarity. We need solidarity.
All right. Appreciate you guys joining us this week. It was a good conversation. I agree totally with everybody on the panel. His
performance gives Mark a Purple Heart in the mail, because he really fought the fight tonight.
Yeah, you did a good job, Mark. You did a good job. Okay, so we're gonna get out of here. Peace. Appreciate everybody watching.
All right.